So we've used a few brushes throughout to do a couple of tasks. So we're going to get you acquainted with the mixer brush and the tips and bristle options that you have in Photoshop. So let's take a look at the first project that we're going to be working on. So here's what it's going to look like at the end. This is the file that you're going to get, and you're going to create this look to show the types of mixing of colors that you're going to use in there. Okay? So before, after. Okay, let's go to File, Browse and Bridge. All right, let's open up our Lesson 10 file. This is the end that we're going to have, and here's the start. So this is what you're going to start with. That's what you're going to end with, right? Additionally, you'll have a landscape piece. You're going to start with this. You're going to end with this. It's like when I take my glasses off. That's what I see. But we're going to start here, end here, okay? We're going to open our palette, start first. So let's do that. Let's do a little double click here. All right, now there's our palette start. We're going to go ahead and save this as 10 palette_working. Okay, save, yes. Now we're going to choose a workspace and we're going to pick painting. Go down here, window, workspace, painting. So these practice images that we have, you can see on the right side, they've got the palette, but then on the right, they have the 4 tubes of color. We're going to use these as samples so that you'll be able to pull the color from it. Okay, let's grab our eyedropper tool that we have here. We are going to move right over to the red tube to sample its color. Now, obviously, where you click, it will pick a different color. You've got your shade and your highlight here. Let's go smack right in the center. You're going to see that on the left side, your foreground color has changed to red. Now that we have our red foreground color, let's go ahead and move over to the mixer brush tool, which is right here. See this one? Mixer brush tool. I'm going to click on that. Now we're going to go to Window, Brush Settings. Remember, we can get to it from here. See how it opens there? But you can always go to Window, Brush Settings, pulls up the same thing. This has a whole bunch of presets available to you. When you click on them, they'll change different sizes and hardness and spacing and such to match what's been created. Another thing that you can do is create your own in the future. Now, for those of you who are really interested in drawing at work, I use a stylus so that I can draw and sketch. At home, it's just me and my trackpad. But if I ever have to plug it in, I can. So I do suggest if you're really interested or you really enjoy this lesson, get yourself a stylus or a graphics tablet, and it can base your lines and details off of the amount of pressure that you put on as you're drawing. They're pretty great if you don't already have one. So there's a couple of different things that will change the effect of your brush, which is the wet, load, and mix fields that are in the option bar. Wet controls how much paint the brush picks up from the canvas. Load controls how much paint the brush holds when you begin painting. So if you take a lot, it's going to keep going. Take a little, it's going to run out much sooner. These are all done just so they can mock a physical brush. And mix controls that ratio of the paint from the canvas and the paint from the brush. So we can change these settings separately. They're all listed. So you can change those up here. There's your wet, there's your load. Here's a couple other things. This offers you the option to load the brush after each stroke or to clean the brush after each stroke, okay? So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna select the dry option right here. You can see how it automatically changes. The wet is set to 0, load is to 50, and mix is not applied. So with that dry preset, you're going to paint an opaque color, and you can't mix colors on a dry canvas. Okay, we're going to select the background layer. All right, we're going to start with this one so that we can draw these next few steps, right? So let's zoom in. Dry. Wet is 0, load is 50, and the mix is not applied to this one. So we're going to paint an opaque color. We can't mix it on a dry canvas. So I want you to paint one zigzag continuous stroke in the area above that red tube. So as you're painting without releasing the mouse, that red paint should fade and run out. If it's not, try again. So we're going to paint one continuous zigzag stroke in the area above that red tube. So as you're painting without releasing the mouse, the red will eventually fade and run out. Okay, so let's take a look. Do it. Okay, there it goes. It fades out. So I want you over your eyedropper tool. Let's sample that blue color right here, this ultramarine blue. Now we're going to go up. We are going to change the brush to the round sketch ballpoint pen brush, right? It is the first brush on the second line. So let's go over to our mixer brush first. It's the first brush, second line. There it is, right? We're going to switch this to wet. That changes wet to 50, load to 50, mix to 50. It's like it's picking up on a wet canvas to mix that color. We're going to paint above the blue tube so you can see it mix with that background. See that? See how it's almost like you're mixing on wet canvas? There's that. If you are getting a solid blue color, make sure you're not on a different layer. Make sure you're on the background list, okay? Make sure you're on the background layer. So next we're going to select dry and we're going to paint again above that blue tube. So let's go up here, select dry, see that? So let's sample the yellow. Let's go over here to our eyedropper. We're going to pull this lemon yellow right here. You can see how it changes different variations. Just pick which one you feel like is closer. I think I like this one. We're going to switch back to that mixer brush. So let's go to the pencil KTW1 brush, fourth brush, second row. So you can hover over them and see if they'll pull up their name. So you're going to be right here, pencil KTW brush, right? We're going to click that one, see how it's changed some of its settings. We're going to go to dry, already there. There it is. Okay, so now let's take very wet from the menu, right? We're going to go down here to very wet. We're going to paint some more. You'll see it mix more with the background. See that? Okay. We're going to sample the green color from that green paint tube. Let's go sample a color. Go over here to your eyedropper. Pull this color, right? Go back to our mixer brush right here. We're going to go up to our hard round 30 brush, sixth brush, fifth row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be this one right here. Come on, buddy. Hard round 30. There we are. We're going to go to dry up in the menu. Okay. And we're going to draw over that one again. So we're going to go like this. Now what it wants you to do, it wants you to paint over it with a different color using a different mixer brush, particularly the wet amount. So let's do this. Let's pick another one. Let's sample my glasses. Pull this blue yellow. Let's go to our mixer brush. Let's go to wet. Okay, see how it mixes it together? It's just trying to treat it as if you are painting with paint on your canvas. So using those wet and dry brushes that you have up here, you've changed your brush settings, you mix the paint with the background color. So we're going to focus on mixing more colors with each other. So we're going to zoom out just enough so we can see the full palette and paint brushes. There we are, right? There's all the fun stuff that we've done here. So there is a paint mix layer. You're going to go here, okay? This one will see how that, there you go. So here's our paint mix layer. Let's take our eyedropper tool and we're going to sample that red color from that red paint tube. And then we're going to select mixer brush. All right. We're going to sample from the tube, get our mixer brush. And then we are going to use the soft round 30 brush, first row. Confirm. There we go. Soft round 30. Okay, here we are. We're going to make sure that it's unwet. Perfect. We're going to clean the brush after each stroke. So see this? Okay, there we go. Let's go sample the blue. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Get our mixer brush here. We're gonna paint in that same circle, mixing the red with the blue until it becomes purple, okay? So, because we have this off, it's not gonna clean the brush, but we are gonna mix. Okay, there's that purple. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sample that purple, and we're gonna put that in the next circle, right? So let's go sample it. Didn't want to put too much on there because it will start to turn a blue. So we got this purple. We're gonna go ahead and paint that in the next one. There's our purple color. So now that's transparent, so there's no paint loaded. Obviously, you can use this clean brush after each stroke, but you can change it here as well. So we're going to use the eyedropper tool. We're going to sample that blue color from the blue paint tube, and then we're going to use the mixer to paint blue in the half of the next circle. Okay, so let's go here. Let's sample that blue tube, right? We're going to paint half of it with our mixer. Okay. Oop. Okay, there's our blue in half. Now we're going to sample the yellow color right here. We're going to slowly paint over that blue to mix. Okay. Now we're going to fill the last color with the yellow and red, and we're going to mix those two with a wet brush to make orange. So let's do the same thing that we just did. Let's sample red. Okay, there's that orange. So let's hide the circles that we had there, which are these. Oh, look at how beautiful. Oh, if your canvas ever tilts like this, my goodness, because you've done this somehow by changing the rotation, hit exit. It'll straighten it out again. All right, that's your digital palette. Look at you getting it done. Yours do not have to look like this. I sure hope they don't. But I want you to file, save. Okay, I want you to save that document, that working, and that's what you're going to upload. And let's go on to the next one. So you can mix colors with a photograph. Like we looked at it earlier, you're going to be able to choose your bristles, choose the wetness, all the dry brush, everything to be able to try to match texture or enhance texture that's on a photo. Let's go over to File, Open. Okay, we're going to double click that landscape start. Here is your JPEG image of this lovely tree. Here we go. We're going to save it as 10 landscape_working.jpg and click save. Click OK in the JPEG option box. This is where you're not going to be saving it as a PSD, but you can already see because it is a JPEG, it's going to save as a JPEG. So let's go here, working, JPEG, save. OK. So let's take a look at how we can load a custom brush. So in your brushes panel, window brushes, there you go. I just want you to see over here. See this? We're going to look at your preset groups that you have here. There's a couple already preset made ones. You can take a look at some of the ones you have here. See how it'll change on this side too for your brush settings. We're going to load a preset that we'll use for this exercise. So up here, I want you to click the panel menu right there. Okay. And then we're going to go all the way over here to import brushes. It is in your 10. So let's go over to our Teaching lessons. Lesson 10. Where are you? And then here is our Classroom in a Book landscape brushes, right? Adobe brush.abr. We're going to go ahead and open. Okay. We can expand it to look at some more. Let's go down here. You know what? We can probably close this. Here's your Classroom in a Book brush. These are the ones that are custom made for this lesson. All right. There you go. You can see all the different kinds. So some have a stroke preview and a name, but a color swatch. You'll see them change. See that right there? There's your color swatch right along the side. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to go ahead and create a variation of a brush preset that exists with these brushes that you just imported. So we're going to select the mixer brush over here. Now we're still on yellow. Let's go ahead and reset that by hitting D. There, see that? It reset you to your black and white. We're going to pick the round fan brush right here in your preset. Now we're going to change the settings. We're going to go to size 36. Okay. We've got round fan as our shape. We're going to change our bristle to 35. We are going to change our length to 32. Our thickness can go up to 2. Our stiffness can be 75. And our angle will stay at 0. And our spacing will also stay at 2. Now let's go over to the foreground swatch that you have over here. We're going to double click it. We are going to change the RGB, which is here. Here is your CMYK for, 4-color press printing. And then here is your RGB. We're going to change the R, red, to 86. We are going to change the green to 201. And that blue will change to 252. There's the blue. And we are going to hit OK. We are going to select dry from the bar up top. And now we're going to save this setting as a brush preset. So choose New Brush Preset from that Brush Settings panel menu. Okay, here's your panel menu on brush settings. New Brush Preset. All right, there it is. We're going to call this Sky Brush, SKYBRUSH. Select all of these options. We're going to turn on Capture Brush Size and Preset and Include Color. Keep the Include Tool setting and hit OK. There's your Sky Brush. So that's saved there based on a preset from that group. So you can move it around if you need to, and you can create a new group at the bottom of the brushes panel, and you can also change the order of your brush panel and organize if you need to, or if you ever have something where you create them a certain way to create your designs, you can move those around. So let's use that preset. So we're going to bring it into this existing image, and we're going to paint the sky first using that brush preset that we created. So you have the sky brush selected. You're going to paint over the sky, moving in close to the trees. And because you're using a dry brush, the blue paint is not going to be mixing with the color beneath it. So let's give that a go. Riveting. Okay, let's go to our clouds brush that we have right here. There's our clouds. We're going to use this to scrub diagonally in the upper right corner of the sky, blending the color in the wet brush preset with the existing color on the layer. So when we're using these different brush presets, watch how it behaves. One preset can affect the other, and it's neat to learn what works with each other. So let's go here. We're going to blend diagonally. Try not to get in the trees like me. Okay. So let's move on to the grass and the trees. So we're gonna get the green grass highlight brush right here. We're gonna do vertical strokes over the darker green grass to add some bright greens. This is when using your stylus can be much better. So let's get our tree brush and we're gonna paint those darker areas of the tree. And then we're gonna select background tree brush and we're gonna paint 2 smaller trees on the right side of the painting. So clearly they're adjusted to be able to fit that design that's in the back. So let's do this. Let's go to our tree brush, okay? And we are going to paint darker areas. So let's start with that. Let's zoom in. This feels like one of those late night infomercial, everybody can draw commercials, if anyone over 30 knows what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not calling home to this one, but you get it. Jeez Louise. Let's cover some of these. Everybody gets an A on this one. Okay, so so amazing. It's like they want you to do it more. I can't. Yikes. Okay, so let's go to our background tree brush. We're just gonna look at how some of that mixes, right? It's just blending a lot of those pieces in. Here's some of the dark. I'm gonna frame this. So far, so good. Let's go to our tree highlight brush and do the lighter area of the tree. So you can see that the tree brush was very wet, heavy mix, and so was that background tree brush. But here we have very wet, so that's clearly going to blend it a little bit stronger. So that'll be your tree highlight. So we're going to go here. Right. I'm not judging. That is a tree. It's like that tree that you see at the eye doctor, but worse. Now let's add some detail to the grass. So we're going to grab the brown grass, which is right down here. We're going to use diagonal strokes to blend those colors into the grass. And then after this, bless you, we're going to it's just so bad. So let's paint the base of the tree. Yikes. Okay, that's probably the best thing that's on here. Not gonna lie. All right, now we're gonna switch to the foreground brush. Okay. Oh, that's much. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Look at our beautiful little grass. You can even go Look at all that beautiful natural grass. Now that's a field. Yeah. Click save so you can get out of this. File save. Voila! You've created a masterpiece with your paint and brushes, and there's no mess to clean up. But chush. Please save this and upload it, and we'll just see who's the winner. Winner gets bonus points. All right, it's not going to be mine. All right, so that's lesson 10. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.